Where's my dog? Xiaomei! You pooping somewhere? Where'd she go? Let's go. Yes. Don't say no to me. Can you jump that? Can you jump it? Whoa. Hey guys, I'm 13 here. Sorry about the bugs on my windshield, but you probably can't see them anyways. Yeah, so this is actually very important. Something just happened this month. I'm not sure the exact date. I heard it happened like 2 days ago, but I'm not sure if that's official or not, if it's just been happening this month. Anyways, the president of China has just switched from being a president to a dictator. So this is huge news. Like, you know, the biggest country on the planet Earth with the largest population has just gone from a democracy to a dictatorship. What I mean by that, he changed the constitution of China, and he changed the rules for term limits on presidents in China, effectively making himself president for life, which is a dictator. So it's like China has just become the new North Korea as of like a couple of days ago, and no one's talking about it, which is insane. Like, this should be big news. Like, imagine if Trump did that. Imagine if Trump just said, okay, there's not going to be what is it? I think it's you're allowed to be president twice for 4 times each, so a maximum of 8 years. Am I right? So like that's the maximum you can be president, is 8 years, no matter how popular you are or whatever. It's either 8 or 12. I'm thinking maybe 3. Anyways, but yeah, imagine if Trump just said, yeah, we're not even gonna, there's no more term limits, and we're not even gonna like vote anymore. I'm just gonna be president of America until, you know, until I die, and then I'll probably just give it to one of my sons. Like, that would be the biggest news ever. First of all, like, you know, the protests and the rioting would be just off the charts, and then it would, fucking idiot. It would just, yeah. And but meanwhile, the exact same thing happens in a country that's, what, 10 times the size of America, and nobody comments on it. It's more than 10 times the size. I think it's like 20 times bigger. Like, the population of China is 20 times larger than America. Yeah. It's just crazy. I wonder if places like China secretly have a military that's a lot stronger than they let on. Because they could, you know. They're sneaky. They've got that going for them, and they're, you know, and it's a dictatorship pretty much. So they could have, like, you know, what? They could have literally a million top-level scientists being forced to make nothing but weapons, like 16 hours a day at like $2 an hour. Like, they could honestly have that. They could have like a million. Like, and a million sounds like an exaggeration, but no, not when you think about the population of the country and the fact that they can do whatever they want, because their people are pretty much just slaves. They've got over a population of over 1 billion, and they're all just, there's no human rights there. The government can do whatever they want with their own people. So they could have just taken, like, yeah, why not, 5 million people, and then sent them to the best schools around the world, spread them out, and then made them learn all this stuff, technological and scientific, and then they bring them all back, and they all live in this giant, secret, evil base headquarters. And then America just thinks that China has, like, a fairly weak military because they've only got, like, what? I think China has 1 aircraft carrier. It's like 1 or 2. Well, America has like 20. And, like, that's the difference. And then other countries don't even have 1. Like, yeah, it's something like that. It's something crazy. But I'm wondering if it's not even. You never know. You never know. And like, and then America, like in the Pentagon in America, they misplaced something like $4 trillion or something crazy. And then luckily for them, the offices that were investigating it were blown up on 9/11. That's not coincidental at all. They misplaced $5 trillion, and I'm not sure if that's the right amount, but it was in the trillions. I forget how much it was. And then the offices, like specifically where all the paperwork and stuff was being held about the information on the money, like where the books were kept, got blown up by the passenger jet that somehow magically flew along the ground at like 3 feet above it and flew through all these light posts without scratching any of them before it hit the side of the Pentagon. Oh, and there just happened to be no one in that in those offices on that day. It was like everyone's day off because not a single person died at the Pentagon when the passenger jet you know, like it's funny, like I'm not even talking about that topic. I'm just listing like facts. Like everything I just said is 100% fact. Like, but some of you listening to me say it are thinking to yourself, oh, he's one of those silly conspiracy theorists. I didn't say that. I didn't say that I think I didn't say anything about thinking it was an inside job or wasn't, or if it really was a plane or anything. I didn't say anything. I was just listing actual facts, documented, non-arguable facts about, you know, the plane that hit the Pentagon. But it just sounds so absurd when you're saying it. Some guy who's never flown a passenger plane in his life got into one and then flew it just like a couple of feet off the ground and then perfectly hit the side of a fairly short building in the exact spot where they were investigating the $5 trillion that they'd lost, and there was no one at work that day because they were like painting or something, so everyone had to get cleared out of the building. Oh man, I'm laughing at the fact that there's still, like, I think the majority of people still believe that that's what happened. Woo. Anyways, yeah, but you know, that's another topic of this video. That's me going off on a tangent like usual. We got a girl over there on a full-size motorcycle, or it's a baby full-size motorcycle. I think it is a 300cc Yamaha. It possibly could be like a 150, 250. Yeah, like a 150 Yamaha, because the rear tire looks really thin. Well, both the tires look thin. Well, I'll know how big the engine is when I see the license plate, because if it's a white license plate, it's most likely a 150cc, and if it's a yellow license plate, then it would be a 300cc. And if it was a red license plate, that would mean it was like a 600cc, but that's definitely not a 600. Here we come. Here's the plate. Here's the big reveal. What is it going to be? White? Yellow? It's yellow. It's a 300cc Yamaha. And then you see the road that it was a girl riding it. The road that she just went up, it has those two blue signs next to it. One of a car and one of a motorcycle, like a proper motorcycle. And that's what it's saying. It's like cars and motorcycles only allowed on that road. And saps like me on a scooter have to stick to this road here. But the funny thing is as we pass the cars that are going up onto the highway, is technically this time of day, it's kind of rush hour. I can pretty much go faster down here than I can up there, if it wasn't for the lights. And yeah, so what was the topic of this video? Oh yeah, China. Yeah, it's an incredibly huge deal. Like, what is arguably the second or third most powerful country on the planet Earth, it just changed from having a president to having a dictator. And it's funny because I was on Facebook this morning for a little while and I didn't see anything about it. And it happened like yesterday or the day before. So then when I Googled it, I saw some weird shit. I Googled it and I saw, because I Googled it like just a couple of minutes ago. Someone told me about it yesterday, and I was like, oh, I need to make a video about that. That's interesting. And then I didn't Google it, and then just now I wanted to make the video, so I Googled it. And the first thing the first things I saw were things like, oh, why this needs to happen, or why. It almost looked, I didn't read the articles, but it looked like the titles of the articles were saying that this is like a good thing. And I'm like, what? So, I don't know. The world is just messed up right now. It's just so messed up. You have like, the other, while we're talking about politics and other things that are most likely going to get this video demonetized, let's throw one more into the mix. Immigrants in Europe, they're out of control. Like, they're absolutely, and I'm not saying that all immigrants are bad, obviously. Like, I have friends that are Muslim. I have friends that are from Iraq. I have friends that are from Iran. I have a good Iraqi friend in Taiwan that I hang out, like, but you know, he's not. Anyways, it sucks when you're talking about a group of people that just happen to be from the same area, because then people are like, oh, you're racist against people from that area. I'm like, no, it's this group of them that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if I go to a bar and I get beaten up by a bunch of people from Russia. A bunch of Russians are at the bar and they beat me up, and then like I'm supposed to somehow tell the story and not mention the fact that they're Russian, because then therefore if I do mention they're Russian, I'm like racist against Russians or something. You know, it's like you're not allowed to talk about. But like in England, for example, right now there's these they're called grooming gangs, and what they are is there's large gangs that are going around and grooming children, young girls, into becoming prostitutes. So they're giving them, like, hey, making friends with them, and then giving them some money, and then slowly like getting their trust, and it's like step by step by step, and then giving them, you know, cell phones, whatever, just out of generosity, and then they get them hooked on drugs, and then boom, they own them, they're prostitutes, they start pimping them out. And obviously that's always happened, but it's happening hugely now. Like, it's happening. Girls are disappearing daily in England, and they're being found in these like these gang homes, and no one's allowed to talk about it because of the fact that these gangs are all from the same ethnicity of people. Like, there's a certain group of people, and I'm not even sure on the specifics. Like, I don't know if they're from Iran or Iraq or Syria or I don't know where. I didn't. But they are immigrants of one sort or another. And yeah, all these gangs are immigrant-run gangs that are like pimping out girls on a regular basis. And the media, everything, they're not allowed to talk about these things, because if they talk about it, then it seems racist. But it's weird, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Did you know that, like, it's either Sweden or Switzerland, I'm not sure which, they're not allowed to, there's bans that, I think it's Switzerland, Sweden, I'm not sure. There are bands that won't do concerts in their home country of Sweden or Switzerland, because there's groups of immigrants will go to concerts, like a group of 30 of them, and then they'll slowly kind of surround some cute girls, like maybe there's 4 cute girls, and the girls don't realize it, but slowly all the people around them just happen to be of the same group of 30, and then once they've surrounded them, they rape them in the middle of a concert, and nobody can see because they create an outer barrier of like, so it's like 30 guys that go to a concert together, 20 of them will surround a group of girls, and then the inner 10 will rape them in the middle of a concert. And yeah, and it hasn't just happened once. It wasn't just some freak occurrence. It's happening so often that there are bands that are refusing to do concerts. Like, they can't do concerts in these countries because they know that if they do it while they're up there singing, there's going to be immigrants raping girls right in front of them in the audience. Like, how messed up is that? And it's not talked about, because, oh, that'd be racist to say that they do that, even though they do that. I don't understand. I don't understand when did political correctness, like, trump safety? Like, when did it become, at what point did it become okay to allow gang rapes because to talk about them might offend someone? Like, jeez. You know? And having said that, again, you know, like, and it's stupid that I have to do this. I'm not saying that, I don't know. I'm not saying that they should stop letting immigrants in, because that's kind of a different topic. But they do need to start, like, talking about it. Like, there was like I saw an interview. That's Mafia if I ever saw it. Jeez, holy cow. Bunch of guys in all black standing around a Mercedes. Either that, no, that's Mafia. I'm like, either that or they're going to a wedding or a funeral. No, that's definitely Mafia. There's no wedding or funeral there. See, and when I'm talking about these immigrants, I want you all to know I don't stereotype people. I don't just look at someone and think to myself, oh, this person is this kind of a person just by what they're wearing or anything. But no, come on. See, that's the thing, man. Like, there was that movie where there was a scene from a movie where there's these two guys and they're walking along and they look like trouble, and then there's a man and a woman walking towards them, and the woman wants to, like, cross the street. She doesn't want to walk by these two guys, and the man's like, no, because if we cross the street, we're going to offend them. They're going to notice that we're crossing the street just to get away from them. So they continue to walk past these two guys, and then the two guys mug them. Like, it's just, you know, and it was funny. It was funny because, like, the woman wanted to cross the street to not walk by these two rough-looking individuals, and the man was like, no, that'd be, we don't want to profile them. We don't want to seem racist or blah blah blah. So let's just keep walking. And then they both get mugged at gunpoint. I don't know, man. I wish we could have, like, a polite discussion about this. I'm sure that I'm gonna have to, like, delete a lot of comments under this video. And if you're watching this video and you feel strongly, especially if you feel strongly against immigrants, try to seem intelligent or polite in your comments, okay? Because if you don't, you're just gonna get deleted anyways. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone in this. Because, like, I really love people of different cultures and ethnicities. I've said it before, I'm like a reverse racist. When I'm doing my tours, I'm a tour guide, and when I'm giving a tour, if someone shows up for my tour, if someone signs up for my tour and they have some weird name like Muhammad something something, I get happy, honestly, because I'm like, oh good, I haven't had anyone from this country or that country. It'll be interesting to meet someone from a different culture and get to know them. That's the honest truth. Like, I remember the first time I had a black person do my tour, I was doing backflips. I was like, you can ask my roommate, because it was my roommate that noticed it. He's like, oh, he's gonna be black, and because we were talking in a chat app, and I could see everyone's names, but most people don't have that app, so they hadn't added their pictures yet. So I had his name but no picture, and my roommate goes, oh, that guy's black, and I'm like, what? How do you know? And he's like, his name, that's gonna be a black person, because my roommate was from America and I'm not. So I got excited. I was like, really? Are you sure? And then I asked him, are you black? I was so happy. I was like, I've never had a black person do my tour before. I like different cultures. I like different ethnicities. I like people with different backgrounds. That's one of the reasons why I moved to Asia, and why I loved Asia so much when I got here. Even though I don't really get along with the locals. I don't not get along with them, but it's just there's cultural differences, so it's difficult to become good friends with the locals. I become friendly with them, and I have a lot of friends, but not. Yeah, there's like a limit. It's weird to and it's not just me, because the vast majority of foreigners that I know that live in Taiwan, like 95% of them, only hang around with other foreigners, and it's not a racist thing. It really isn't. It's just like cultural differences and stuff. Anyways, yeah. So end of the video.
Xiaomei, so pretty.
Come on, let's go this way, Xiaomei. Oh. Okay, so I have a question. Like, here's a theoretical question, and I want people to answer this in the comments below. Let's say, is Timbuktu a real country? I think it used to be, but I don't think it is anymore. Let's just make up a word. Cucamundo. Coco. I don't know. Cocomundo. There we go. It's just a word. Cocomundo. So say there's a country called Cocomundo, and then I get a Cocomundian. Why did I pick such a hard word to say? I get a Cocomundian that wants to come and do. Oh, great. I can't walk anywhere with my dog without other dogs getting in the way. I gotta change direction. Yeah, let's go another way. Yeah, it's okay. So I get a Cocomundian that books my tour. So I get happy. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I've never had anybody from Cocomundia. And then they come and do my tour, and they screw me over. They steal, they rob the guests, and they disappear. And I'm like, oh, that sucked. And then I get another, Xiaomei, come on. Xiaomei. And then you know, and then my next tour, I get another person from Cocomundia. Obviously, I'm not gonna be scared. I'm gonna. So the next time a Cocomundian books my tour, they do something similar. They total the scooter and then take off on a bus or whatever, on a train, and then don't pay for the damages. And then I'm like, and then like a third and then like, you know, next tour and nobody, and then the next tour after that, somebody else from Cocomundia books my tour, and I'm like, this time I'm a bit nervous, but I still allow them to do my tour. And the same thing, they like rape one of the other guests and then take off. So the question is, at what point am I allowed to say I'm not accepting people from Cocomundia anymore without being a racist? You know? And then a lot of you are going to say never. You're never allowed to say that. And I'm like, okay, so I'm never allowed to disallow people from that country, because that would be racist. So I'm just supposed to. And then what happens if it happens a fourth time, and a fifth time, and a sixth time, where every time these people come from that specific country, they just steal and rape and destroy my tour every single time? Like, what should I do? I'm not allowed to disallow people from that country, because that would be racist. But every single time they come, they're doing this. So what's the correct answer in that situation? That's my question for you in the comments.